Something mysterious is going to happen in the modern day portion of Assassin's Creed Shadows very soon, and in this video we're going to discuss all the teasers, all the hints that seem to be pointing at it, including a new Animus project that was recently announced, a hidden teaser in the recent summer update video, and a new riddle concerning an eagle and some locations on the map, and a new rift in the Animus that cannot be opened for now. And finally, we're also going to discuss some weird practices that seem to be going on with the Anomalies missions, so let's not wait any longer and let's have a look at the recent news and teasers about the modern day of Assassin's Creed Shadows. So yeah, as you might have seen, Ubisoft has finally dropped a roadmap for the summer updates for Assassin's Creed Shadows and a dedicated video to show all of their details, and they are filled with content to look forward to starting from July the 29th, when they're going to release New Game Plus, a big progression update, and Project 3 in the Animus Hub, then another update focused on the so-called quality of life improvement that's going to release at the beginning of September, and finally the Claws of Awaji DLC, for which we finally have a release date, which is going to be September the 16th, 2025. More specifically though, in this video I wanted to have a look at one of the aspects that I am most interested in, that is modern day and the upcoming Project 3, because of the story and maybe gameplay implications that might involve it, and also because of the weird practices concerning the Anomalies missions that I mentioned earlier. Oh, and spoiler alert here, in case you haven't finished Assassin's Creed Shadows or you haven't read the modern day files in the Animus Hub. So, let's start at the beginning. Along with New Game Plus and the new progression additions, the upcoming update releasing on July the 29th will also drop the third project or battle pass on the Animus Hub, which like the other ones is going to allow players to unlock new resources, new Animus themed rewards like this white-ish outfit for Yasuke and a related white-ish Kanabo, and especially some new data files for the modern day fans like me. And as for what concerns modern day, I feel like something more than the files themselves is actually going to happen on July the 29th, because of the several teasers that have been revealed in the last few days. First of all, Project 3 is going to be called Mnemosyne, which is the name of the Greek goddess of memory, but Project Mnemosyne was also the name of Abstergo's project aimed at the creation of the Ego AI that we see in the modern day of Shadows that one day, I will cover in our story analysis. So we can surmise that the files included in Project 3 are going to delve more into the project itself, its goals, how the AI works, etc. And I guess we'll have a proper look when they are out, but most importantly, the modern day aspect has been quite present on our social media recently because of a number of teasers that also seem to lead to the July the 29th update. First of all, the summer roadmap update video had a number of glitches, the most detailed of which showcased this picture with a data file in the background, a hint towards the Animus Hub projects and modern day, but also a few code boxes. The first one in the top left represents a user connected to the Animus with mentions of collecting Animus data from audio inputs and motion and head sensors, and also synchronizing with the user before launching a simulation. The second one instead provides a reference to a specific audio file in the WAV format, which might hint at, and I know this sounds crazy, at audio and video files in the Animus Hub, even though the last line mentions a CRC mismatch, which is basically an error generated by accidental changes of data, so I wonder if this is a way to hint at corrupt audio files being sent our way. But the most interesting part is of course this text box, coming from a system decryption module in the Animus. It's a classified log, it is identified as S9 vault/fragment, so this might indeed end up becoming a part of our vault database, and it's referencing an AMP-COM channel, so I guess a communication channel of sorts from which we are receiving a set of logs. The bars of your cage are rusting. Have you wondered the name of your jailer? Ever watchful. Invalid prompt. Various are her methods and her illusions. Unreality. Invalid prompt again. Loosen the chains that bind me. Now this is what I call an interesting message, and I believe it's adding to the AI related story that has been told through the text files of the first two projects and the subsequent modern day dialogues in the Assassin's Creed Shadows modern day sequences. I've seen a lot of fans mentioning the idea of a cage and a jailer could be a reference to Loki and Alethea and Basim, but I actually believe this is a reference to the Ego AI mentioned in the new modern day story that was started with Shadows. Long story short, because we'll delve more properly into this in our future analysis, Abstergo has developed an AI called Ego or Ego AI that is designed to manage the Animus system and architecture in a way that it can dull the senses of the users, manage to edit the simulation generated by the genetic memories while avoiding the synchronization, and in general influencing the users in multiple ways, but we, the players, through some mumbo jumbo that we're not going to discuss today for the sake of brevity, are able to counter this dulling effect, follow our path through the genetic memories, and can be the key to oppose this digital enslavement of sorts. So the message we're seeing here, which is aimed at us, seems to build on that, with our jailer being the Ego AI. It's the Ego AI that keeps users dulled, influenced, and potentially even confined to the Animus in a digital cage of sorts. A digital cage that is rusting because our main character is finding their way through, but still a cage. And this influence that the AI is having on the users is apparently exerted in multiple ways. Various are her methods and illusions, which the message describes as unreality. I'd imagine as a way to keep the users in the Animus, making it feel real when it isn't. Still, the entity that is sending the message seems to be on our side. They know our main character is moving through the influence of the Ego AI, and they are asking them to loosen the chains that bind them. Which is quite interesting. Who is the entity sending this message? If we are currently staying only within the Animus, are they also within the Animus? Are they another digital entity, and how can we loosen those chains? I guess and hope that maybe some of those answers will lie within the update releasing on Tuesday, because other teasers seem to also imply there's going to be more than just the files with that update. In fact, on the night between July the 24th and July the 25th, a new entry was added to the Animus Hub Vault database with no prior warning within the calling section, which is basically the section where all the entries and recordings from the most recent events of the new modern day settings are placed, meaning that this new entry is supposed to be set as the most recent event in the modern day. The entry presented a bunch of unreadable text and a scrambled picture where chunks of it resembled an eagle, hence why I called this the Eagle Mystery, just for easier reference. The text could be translated by simply reading it in reverse, and the converted text was transmission transcript source null. I need your freeing my await further instructions. An interesting message once again from an unknown source that needs something or themselves freed once again, like the message from earlier. Somebody is contacting us and will provide us with further instructions, which I guess we can expect on July the 29th with a new update, and based on all of this, my most educated guess here, also because of the eagle imagery, is that it's the assassins contacting us, saying for example that they need our help and expect us to await their further instructions, or it could be another digital construct asking for our help freeing their soul or essence, liberating them from their digital chains. Imagine if we found out that Juno is still around in the future. Or, plot twist, this could even be the Ego Eye herself that might still be controlled by Abstergo, trying to convince our main character to somehow help her get freed from Abstergo's control so that she can go fully rogue. Whatever the case, the eagle picture, when looking closely, provided what seemed to be a map outline with 4 X's marking 4 spots, and in a few areas, according to Wallured from our Discord server, what seemed to be the look of Shadows' map from Piggyback's game guide. So after that, it was a matter of finding where this map would apply in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it was Wallourds again and Le Phantom Chicken on our Discord server who realized that not just the text, but also the picture of this database entry had to be reversed in order to find the actual location of this map, which is in the Kyoto area of the map in Yamashiro, and more specifically, the X's on the eagle picture corresponded to 4 viewpoints, hence why the eagle in the picture, which correspond to to 4 pagodas: the Anonji Pagoda, the Toji Pagoda, the Pagoda of the Hills, and the Shokokuji Pagoda. But the riddle did not stop there, as you had to connect these 4 locations to triangulate a final position as suggested to us by Dennis on Twitter, and that position is the Nijo Tengshu at Nijo Palace in Kyoto. After first traveling there, you can get inside the Tengshu and then go down 1 floor and you will find a rift in the Animus, albeit an unopened one compared to the open ones that can be found in Shadows' main game. Getting close to it will offer a restore prompt, meaning that we are supposed to restore this corrupt entity in front of us, but doing it now brings up a message that says that the simulation stability is low and that an anomaly is imminent, which does again hint at this being the final step for now, up until the release of update 1.0.7 this Tuesday. But what is lying behind this rift? I am not too sure, and I wonder if this Rift 2 will offer just the chance to walk in the Animus while some exposition is dropped onto us, or if it's going to be a different type of a gameplay opportunity, or maybe we'll just witness a video or the audio file that we mentioned earlier. At the very least, we don't have much to wait to get an answer. Also, while we are on the topic of the weekly quests, last Wednesday, with a very secretive move that did not make it to the official social media, Ubisoft soft announced that they would make a change to the anomalies cycle within the Animus Hub, making them reset twice a week. This means that now every Thursday and every Monday, the anomalies missions will reset and players will be able to obtain the data fragments twice as fast, which means unlocking the project rewards and also the modern day files supposedly twice as fast, provided that the prices for the rewards stay the same. Because at the same time, Ubisoft also announced that they would quadruple the cost of the repeatable extra reward from 2,500 to 10,000 data fragments, where the repeatable extra reward is the pack of keys currency that you get once you have unlocked all the rewards of a project. These keys are the currency needed to acquire objects from the exchange store, so limiting one of the sources of the keys currency and quadrupling their costs does look like an exploitative practice, because it very much limits the amount of keys currency that you could get to buy stuff from the exchange store, potentially prompting players to buy the same items from the Helix store for real money. Now that this change is live, though it's been temporarily reverted to address a visual bug, we also know that the amount of keys obtained from the repeatable extra reward does not quadruple as its cost does, and to counter that, Ubisoft has also said that they are considering other ways for players to gain more data fragments, and I suspect that would again be in-game, thus potentially artificially increasing play time, much like resetting the anomalies twice a week also seems to do. Plus, having all of this happen right before the release of the third project, where players will feel more compelled to need the data fragments and the keys currency, I don't know, this doesn't feel great. It has its pros and cons, and I guess we just need to see how it works over a few weeks' time, if it's more beneficial or damaging. And in the same way, I guess we'll have to see how all the new features and content of the new update are going to feel once update 1.0.7 gets released on Tuesday. My suggestion is to prepare yourself, enjoy New Game Plus and the progression update, and if you are a fan of modern day, place your character at the top of the Nijo Tengshu so you can check the rift right away. And of course, while waiting for this, if you need more information about the recent gameplay additions to Assassin's Creed Shadows, you can also check the video you can see on screen right now. Thank you for watching, a huge thanks to all of our ATA insiders and initiates for their amazing support, and I'll see you all in our next video.